Right, so I was just flying towards the rear depot from the south when I looked at my 3 o'clock and I saw these two 110s diving towards the rear depot. I was quite surprised at seeing 110s that close to me, and when I saw this third plane behind them, I made a mistake in that I did not properly ID him. I assumed he was a Russian, judging by his thin trail of unburnt fuel that he was leaving. For those of you who don't know, Russian planes typically leave a trail of unburnt fuel because it's very easy to have the mixture a bit too rich. In those Russian planes, typically you need your mixture around 50% to ensure you're not leaving a trail of unburnt fuel. So thinking that this guy behind the 110s was a Russian, I turned towards the 110s in the hopes of being able to take a few pot shots at them while I was close enough and in gun range so that I could cause them to turn and allow this other Russian to catch up to them. Problem is, that guy is not a Russian, he is a 109. So everything was going according to plan here. I'm taking a few pot shots at them, but I do get them to start to maneuver and turn. But you can see I am taking my 6, and that's because I knew that I did not properly identify who that plane was. So I was trying to take a look at him again, and he flashes back and forth in my mirror, and I tried to regain sight of him, but I couldn't, so I continued to attack the 110s. Taking a few shots at him. Now this is my first indication that I've actually got a German fighter behind me. A yellowish-orange tracer going in front of my nose. And also I want you to listen carefully. You can actually hear the 109's cannon firing at me. So this was my first indication, my first positive or solid indication that I had a German behind me. And so I come in and smack the 110 hard with 3 37mm cells, and I immediately turn my attention to the lead 110, pulling up after him. However, the 109 flashes in my mirror again, and this time he was there for long enough that I could tell that he was a 109. I wasn't 100% sure, but he looked very much like a 109 to me, so now I'm very worried about who is behind me. Also, this gentle right-hand climb that this 110 is doing is indicating to me that he's setting me up for another German plane, and in this case, it's going to be this German fighter behind me. So as soon as I knew I had a German on my 6, I rolled inverted to throw his aim off, and I was also trying to lure him into a rolling scissors, and just basically using the superior roll weight of the P-39. Unfortunately, because I was not too familiar with the plane, I was stalling it quite a bit. After being forced out in front, the 109 elects to go vertical. So I just fly straight, trying to extend away from that other 110 so he doesn't get involved. And then I have to evade another attack the 109 is launching. I'm still checking my 6, trying to make sure that other 110 is not coming in behind me and trying to take me out. But luckily for me, he was actually not interested in me. He just continued towards the rear depot and bombed it, so he's not a factor in this fight. I did try and evade this 109 again, but unfortunately I lost sight of him, so I had to go into a split S. A bit of a dangerous move, because if he had instead gone vertical, he could have attacked me as I was pulling up from the dive. Even if I had evaded that attack, he could have just kept hammering me until I had no more energy, and then I would be dead meat. But thankfully he made a big mistake in trying to get some shots on me in that dive, and because of that he ended up bleeding off a lot of energy, and he also gave up his position, he gave up his altitude advantage, and so this was a big mistake when he tried to dive after me and still get the shot on me. So this is just something for you 109 pilots out there, and even for any pilots out there, is if you see someone doing a split S and you're already out of plane, don't try and push it, because you're just going to be giving up your altitude, you're going to be giving up your position, you're going to be giving up energy. So it's far better to stay high and wait for the next opportunity to attack. So here I'm just on the inside of his turn circle. He reversed his turn, which allows me to stay on the inside. He is trying to get me to prop hang on him, and I'm just staying below him. Now this is a bit of a head-on situation. Right now, if he was to turn to the right, that would turn into a turn rate fight, which he would actually win. However, he elects to turn to the left, and that results in a turn radius fight. And because I'm slower than him and I've already begun a lead turn in that direction, I'm actually going to win in a turn radius fight. So it would have been much better for him to have turned to the right and get into a turn rate fight, and not get into a turn radius fight. But he does turn left and goes into a turn radius fight, and I'm able to get my nose onto him before he can get his nose on me. And this is probably the most dangerous move I've made thus far. Pulling up into him, he nearly hit me, but luckily he missed me, but I also didn't hit him. But I'm able to hammerhead over the top, and now I'm on his 6, and the energy difference between the two of us is not quite so great. So essentially I'm able to stay on his 6, and as he tries to do this vertical loop, I'm able to keep up with him and start taking a few shots in with my 50 cals, do get a few hits into his wing. Then as we come back over the top of the loop, he loses control trying to evade me and crashes into the ground. And so after killing that 109, I'm going to start heading away from the area because I'm still not entirely sure where that 110 is. And also at this point in time, I'm out of 50 cals.